another episode of This Old Empire. As you recall, we were working on our COM-8 323 conversion, adding in the HOLME 323 lift mechanism. Where we left off last time is we were cutting out the brackets, the sides of the skirt. It's about a 1.5 by 7 inches on both sides in order to make room for the slides, the drawer slides that Kevin has to leverage moving the center foot up and down. Alright, so while we were doing that, you recall that we were attaching the 2.5 inch 1/4 by 20 screws, button heads or flathead screws, button screws provided by COM-8 and Wayne with their skirt. Now, because the whole mechanism attachment takes up another 3/4 or another 3/8 of an inch, I wanted something a little bit longer. So tried going to Lowe's, they didn't have it, went to Home Depot, and of course they had the parts that I was looking for. So this is not the exact one that I got, because the ones that I have in there are 1/4 inch by 20, 2 inch by 3/4 inch socket head stainless steel. So it's again nice little hex socket head. This is a 3 inch, just to show kind of what I went and got. You know, it's got a nice hex cap on the end. So I grabbed the 2 3/4 as well as the 3 inch, just trying to figure out, I didn't know how much play was going to be in there. As you can see, this thing is on there rock solid. I do have a washer and the hex cap, hex socket screw all attached, and it's pretty much ready to go. This is not going anywhere. One additional thing that you might want to think about while you're doing it is you might want to test these 4 center leg attachment holes. They're not screw holes, they're just literally holes. So I grabbed the mounting mechanism off of my center leg, and I just ran the screws through here and found that this bottom one was just a smidge tight, so I just ran a 1/4 inch drill bit through it, no problem. The other thing that you might want to do right here, this is the mechanism that connects the motor in. It has 3 slots here on the side. Those are where you're going to mount your tilt motor that adjusts the yoke that moves the shoulders back and forth. They're 30-ish degrees. Alright, these also were just a smidge tight. It's not a problem. Kevin did a good job making sure that we can make final adjustments. So again, took the screw out, ran a 1/4 inch bit through. They slide through just perfectly. I can put them in any one of those 3 positions on both sides without any issue. So there you have it. We've got the skirt mounted. We've tested the center foot attachment, and the next thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and get remounted back in the frame, and we'll be good to go. Stick around. Alright, welcome back to another This Old Empire. If you remember, we were just working on our COM-8 frame, adding in the HOLME 323 system. Now, I'm going to bring you over here, reorient you to our new spot. So as you can see, have set up a small table in order to have it lower down instead of my high workbench. I'll move back and forth between these. It's just easier having it a little bit lower. Now, for those of you that are observant, will notice that the vertical struts for the rear door have been reattached, as well as the post pins. Well, that would also mean, if you're observant, that the skirt is missing. So the important thing to note, last time we went ahead and put the skirt on because we were so excited to get our long button hex nuts that we forgot to attach the screws on the bottom for both the vertical uprights and these posts. So you got to put those on first, go ahead and mount them in, get everything secured down, and then once you get this on, then you can go ahead and start putting on the skirt. But before we do that, you have to modify the center ring of your COM-8 323 frame. As you can see, it has more of a curved shape to it. I've enlarged the center portion. There used to be a tab that was right here. This portion came all the way down along and then it jutted in. I'll show a before and after picture. But the reason why is we have these motors, the lift motors. This is the right side, and then over here's on the left side. And so these housings get in the way of our plate frame. So we needed to be able to make it so it had enough space. So here's an example. I'm just going to slide this down in. And there you can see nice easy curves that go around and allow it firm connection. It lines right up over our post holes. On this side, again, you can see nice easy, got 1 to 2 millimeters of clearance on all sides. Now I do have some templates that I've made. This is a 1-inch square, just so when you print it out you have a point of reference to know how close in size. So if you were to print this, this is the outside edge of the left, the outside edge of the right, the corresponding screw holes right there. Right? So you should be able to put this on top of yours and use this to draw your inner line in order to be able to get a nice smooth curve without having to do testing a whole bunch of the geometry like I had to do in order to get this. This was a fair amount of small cuts, test fit, small cuts, test fit, lower it down, a little lower each time. You know, so you get here, then you drop it down, then you drop it down. Each time you do that, you're working through varying changes and twists and turns. Then you get little notches. Those notches don't add any really support, so just went ahead and removed them, kind of smoothed it out. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and secure all of these screws for the top plate to be nice and secure. And then we're going to flip it on its side and reattach the skirt. And then we're going to add the top ring and side plates back on, and that will mean everything is in place. Last thing we'll have to do is look at reconnecting our flip down panel, which connects to these two screw holes right here. That's an easy fix to do after we've already got this all mounted in place. Alright, so we'll be right back. Welcome to another episode of This Old Empire. If you remember on this last time, we've been modifying the COM-8 frame in order to support the HOLME 323 system. So where we left off, we have been modifying this center ring in order to support having this center lift mechanism put in there. And as you can see, had to do some modifications on the side to make it a little bit wider in order to accept all of the cables and motors and such. Now, we've got the top frame ring back on as well as the side strut supports, and everything's been resecured. Now, what you can see here is I've just got some jumper cables to a bench power supply. Just don't have the Sabertooth 2x32 coming yet, but it's nice to see the function of this sometimes. So all it is just I've been running this at 5 volts, and I'm switching the power supplies power connections right now, and then you can see it go down. Alright, and we can make it come back up, and we'll do that at 12 volts just so you can see the difference. And the reason I've been running it at 5 volts is Kevin talked about having to 3/4ing the voltage, which would be down around 5 volts when you're doing the transition as opposed to going full speed, and this is why. Yeah, you can imagine transitioning that quickly and suddenly having all of your stability getting changed as it's moving, so not necessarily a good thing to do right away. Once the foot is off the ground and everything's stabilized, yeah, you could come back at that speed. But that will all be played with when I have the Arduino and the Sabertooth 2x32. Now it's been fun going through looking about where we're going to put, you know, I used to have side mount speakers here that actually went in this portion, conflicted against the shell. So I've got some slimline ones that I'm going to try instead. I'll order a second one once I've tested it out, and then just figuring out where to mount everything else. So it will be definitely interesting and fun. Can't wait to get after it. So hope you stick around and come see us back in a little bit. Stick around.